Look at the last 3 people you could not stop thinking about. The last 3 jobs that drained you. The last 3 friendships that ended the same way. Different people, same pattern. This is not bad luck. This is not a coincidence. You are running a script you do not remember writing. Psychologists call it the attachment blueprint. And by the end of this video, you are going to be able to read your own. In 1969, a British psychiatrist named John Bowlby published a book that changed how we understand love. Bowlby studied children who had been separated from their caregivers during wartime. What he found was haunting. Children do not just need food and shelter. They need a relationship. And the shape of that earliest relationship gets encoded into them. Bowlby called it the internal working model. A blueprint your nervous system builds before you can talk, made out of one question. What does it feel like when someone is supposed to love me? If your earliest caregivers were warm, present, and predictable, your blueprint says love feels safe. If they were cold or distant, your blueprint says love feels like waiting. If they were warm one minute and gone the next, your blueprint says love feels like scanning. Whatever it felt like, your brain stored it as the default. The original recipe. So 19 years later, when you walk into a coffee shop and lock eyes with a stranger, your nervous system does not ask, "Is this person good for me?" It asks a much faster question. Does this person feel familiar? Familiar reads as safe. Even when familiar was painful. Mary Ainsworth confirmed this in 1978 by watching how toddlers behaved when their caregivers left the room. The patterns she saw at 12 months old still showed up in those same kids decades later. So before we go further, I want to be clear. This is education, not therapy. If anything in this video lands hard, please talk to a licensed professional. But just naming the pattern, that part is yours. Quick check-in before I keep going. The first name or word that came to mind when I said familiar? Drop it in a comment. Just the word. Partner, boss, mom, dad, best friend. I read every single one. And if your brain just went, oh, hit the like button. It helps me know to keep making these. Example 1. The partner. You meet someone. There is a spark. Something about them just feels right. Not in a calculated way. In a body way. Like your nervous system already knows them. You tell your friends, this one is different. And for a while it feels different. Then somewhere around month 4 or month 6, you start having a fight. And in the middle of it, something flickers in your head. Wait, I have had this fight before. With my last partner? With the one before that? With my first love when I was 19. You start to notice that the partner who pulled away when you needed them, the partner who almost showed up but never quite did, the partner who made you work for every scrap of warmth, you have dated this person 3 times in a row. Different face, different name, same dynamic. And here is the part that stops you cold. You met someone last year who was consistently warm, consistently present, and consistently kind. And you felt nothing. You called them boring. Quick thing. If this is making sense of a pattern, subscribe. The human code decodes one of these every week. You do not have to do this work alone. Okay, back to the science. In 1988, a therapist named Harville Hendrix gave this its name. He called it the imago. Not a single trait. A composite. Your unconscious built a portrait of love out of the people who shaped you first, and especially out of the parts of them that hurt. So when you meet someone whose nervous system matches that composite, your body does not say, "Watch out." Your body says, "This feels like home." Because home was the version that hurt you. The kind person did not feel boring because they were boring. They felt unfamiliar. And your radar reads unfamiliar as wrong. So you walked away from peace and called it chemistry. You did not pick the wrong person. You matched the blueprint. That is your radar. That is the part of the attachment blueprint that scans the room before your conscious mind ever shows up. Example 2, the boss. You take a new job. Better salary, better title. You are getting away from the manager who never gave you credit, the one who flipped between charming and cutting with no warning, the one whose approval you spent 2 years chasing. You walk in on day 1 and you tell yourself, fresh start. 6 months later, you are sitting in your car after work, hands on the steering wheel, and you are realizing that your new boss does the exact same thing. Different building, different industry, same dynamic. Here is the part most people miss. You are not choosing them, you are auditioning for them. The internal working model Bowlby described does not just operate on partners. It operates on every authority figure you meet. Michellenser and Shaver, 2 researchers who studied adult attachment for decades, showed in 2007 that your attachment patterns predict how you behave with bosses, not just romantic partners. So when you walk into that new job, you are not a blank page. You are walking in carrying a familiar role. The one who works harder to earn approval. The one who absorbs blame so the room stays calm. The one who waits to be seen. And when you carry that role into a room, the room reorganizes itself around it. The boss who would have been neutral starts to lean on you. The boss who would have been demanding becomes withholding. You are not finding the same boss. You are casting the same boss into your story without realizing you wrote the script. Example 3. The family role. This one might be the hardest to see, because it is not about a person. It is about a seat. In your original family, you took a seat. Maybe you were the responsible one, the kid who held it together when the adults could not. Maybe you were the peacemaker, the one who read the room and softened the edges. Maybe you were the invisible one, the one who learned that being unnoticed was the safest way to exist. Maybe you were the performer, the one who kept everyone laughing so the tension would not crack. Whatever your seat was, you took it before you knew you had a choice. And here is what the attachment research shows. You did not just learn the seat. You learned the entire room. Now in your friend group, in your team at work, in your relationship, you are not just finding the same kind of person. You are reproducing the entire cast. Different people, same roles, with you in the same seat. And the wildest part is, the room recasts itself for you. Because when you walk in playing the responsible one, someone else slips into the role of the one who needs rescuing. When you walk in playing the peacemaker, someone else takes the role of the volatile one. This is not about blaming anyone in your past. The seat you took kept you safe. The point is just to notice that you are still sitting in it. That is the role. That is the third part of the blueprint. Here is the full framework. The attachment blueprint has 3 parts. Part 1, the template. Built before you could speak, out of how your earliest caregivers made you feel. Bowlby called this your internal working model. Your nervous system stored it as the default shape of love. Part 2, the radar. Your unconscious pattern matcher. It does not scan for people who are good for you. It scans for people who feel familiar. And it reads familiar as safe, even when familiar was painful. This is what Hendricks described as the imago. Part 3, the role. The version of yourself you become to make the dynamic familiar. The audition. The seat. The cast you keep recreating. And here is why this works on smart, self-aware people. It is not running on logic. It is running on physiology. By the time your conscious mind has processed who is in front of you, your nervous system has already said, yes, this one. Or no, not them. The blueprint is faster than your brain. That is why willpower does not break it. Recognition does. Here is what I want you to walk away with. You do not have a type. You have a template. And templates can be rewritten. But only if you can read the one you are holding. So tonight, before you scroll on, I want to give you 3 questions. Not advice, just questions. Your blueprint will answer if you let it. Question 1. What was the dominant emotional climate of your earliest relationships? Was it warmth? Was it distance? Was it unpredictability? Was it volatility? You do not need to diagnose anyone. Just describe the weather. Question 2. Where in your body do you notice that climate right now? In your chest? In your jaw? In a tightness you cannot name? That sensation is your radar. That is what your nervous system reads as familiar. Question 3. What role did you have to play to survive that climate? Were you the responsible one? The invisible one? The performer? The peacemaker? That is your role. 3 answers. That is your attachment blueprint, named. You cannot rewrite a blueprint you have not read. But once you can read it, you stop confusing familiar with safe. You stop calling chemistry what is actually a memory. If this gave you language for something you have been carrying for a long time, subscribe. We decode one of these patterns every week. And in the comments, tell me which example hit hardest. Was it the partner, the boss, the family role, or all 3 at once? I read every single one. Take care of yourself tonight. The Human Code. The science of why you do what you do.